More baseball talk too, but now Canada's national summer sport. The St. Catharines Junior A Athletics regular season begins Wednesday night at home, Canada Games Park, and this season is a big one.
Everybody's talking, the buzz ain't just a beer. Radio man keeps saying, this could be our year. Huddled up headlights, team colors cross the lawn. Don't matter where you're coming from, we're here to get it gone. It's that hometown crowd, yeah, it's in our blood. And even when the clock runs out, we still raise the cup. It ain't about that hat-trick home run, big first down. Just looking for a little something we can rally around. Are you in or are you out? Ain't about seat in your house, courtside or on the couch, we still get.
It's another feature game here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. Last night, a battle between the top two teams in the province. Today, we look at teams 3 and 4 who continue to battle for position and home floor in the first round of the playoffs. I'm Matthew Carrick in for the JVI Sports Network as we present Ontario Junior Lacrosse League action here from Iroquois Park Sports Center. And a special day here in Whitby as they honor the 2013 Minto Cup team from Whitby, which includes Riley O'Connor, Joel Watson down there as the GM of the Whitby Warriors, and Jordy Jones-Smith, part of those good Whitby teams. Over the last little bit, they'll take part in the opening face-off with Lucas Littlejohn and Willem Firth, who are two of the top offensive players in the league this season. Willem Firth coming in with 39 goals, 42 assists for 81 points. Lucas Littlejohn 4 points away from 100. Here this afternoon, he leads all comers in the stats department. Toronto Beaches at 13 and 5, currently tied with Six Nations. Beat the Arrows. Lost to the Arrows once, and then beat them again for an overall goal differential of +1 in the Beaches' favor. So if they end up tied, that's how that'll go. Meanwhile, Peterborough, a 10-5 win in the books for the Whitby Warriors. They'll play again on Monday night at 8 p.m. in Peterborough. Whitby has 2 wins over St. Catharines, but can do well with 2 games in hand to just put some distance between themselves and that logjam. Nolan Byrne knocked in and out of his stick. Back to Ryan Langille, far side, up top. Outside shot, Julian Belair taking quarterback position right now. Here's Jack Oldman and Nolan Marshall, the newcomer from Brampton at the trade deadline. Scamper off the floor. First look at these 2 teams after the deadline, which includes this man here, Seth Martino, putting his shoulder into Owen Lee. Whitby sending some defense up to Peterborough in exchange for Matthew Ford, who's going to be superstar for this Whitby team in the future. They're going to lose a large portion of their offense, including Captain Littlejohn, Marshall, and Nolan Byrne at the end of this season. Same story with Gabriel Soroketti, a late addition as he started the season on the injured list. Ball will drop down into the stick of Littlejohn, who shoots. And the save made by Thomas Kazik, who gets the start for the Toronto Beaches. Littlejohn, captain of Whitby in their white uniforms with blue buckets, gets slammed into the glass. Saw his helmet bounce off there, and he is down. And Whitby fans, hold your breath. You can see his stick moving, but training staff is going to come out to attend to Lucas Littlejohn now on all fours as Seth Martineau still gets the attention of the Beaches. Rough and tumble game last night up in Orangeville. Riley O'Connor saying that's got to be 5. Definitely in the numbers. We'll see what standard Kyle Kropman, Brendan Hessen, and Shane Withers elect to take, and it will be Jack Wynarski sitting for 5 minutes here for boarding. 5-minute majors do not come with automatic game misconducts. And that wouldn't be Riley O'Connor, of course, saying that's got to be 5 with his guy in the box, but just a minute 43 into this game and already some jawing between the benches as Whitby will go to the power play. Starts with Nolan Byrne. Gives to Julian Belair. Soroketti back towards the corner. Little switch there, as now Belair will come up top. Byrne elects to shoot instead of pass, and Belair will keep it onside. Nolan Byrne got there in front of the Beaches bench, and another high hit as Nolan Byrne goes down. Caden Hewitt getting involved with Ryan Langille. As coming to the box here, Liam Bucknell. In real time, this looked like it was into the helmet, and I think that's probably the correct call. Only 2 minutes up on the board, so this will put Whitby down, or Whitby up, 2 men. If the Beaches take another penalty within the next 2 minutes, penalty shot territory. Little John. Whitby only sending 4 into the offensive set. Quickly down to the crease for Byrne. And Kaiser stood his ground to send that one aside. Little John's outside shot. Initially stopped. Second chance Belair, and Kaiser collapses over top. David Peterkin run over just inside the line, and oohs and ahs from the Toronto bench. Meanwhile, breakaway shot from Luke Robinson. They'll fight over the rebound far side. And I mean, we're only 3 minutes into this one. Feels like playoff atmosphere here in Whitby yet again. Still a week and a half away from actual postseason lacrosse here in Ontario, but spicy one last night between Six Nations and Orangeville, and these two who met in the Ontario finals in 2022. A little extra juice in this one as well. Little John, quick stick down to the crease. They'll go to Belair again. Tries to poke it through the legs of Kaisick, and does. The entire power play was this quick stick across to Belair, who finally gets it just through somehow the 5-hole of Thomas Kaisick. Haven't even touched on Tyden Redlick. Trade acquisition from Alberta. We've got Saskatchewan Rush versus San Diego Seals tonight, in between the pipes of these two teams. Face-off controlled by Jack Oldman, which is usually the case. One of the top draw takers in the league in Oldman. Byrne here for Little John. They decided to take that goal from the minor penalties, so 5-on-4 power play set here for Whitby. Now with 2:45 left to go, and the time left on the board is on the major penalty. So rag team out here with Peterkin. Back to Liam Aston. He'll come across in the stick of Will Firth, and just bounced away from him. First time calling Firth's name here in the game. Max Weatherup faked it to Little John, goes there for real now. Return pass to Little John from Byrne. Down towards the corner. They'll work it back through Byrne again. Nolan Marshall down in the crease this time. Ty Gesso back for Byrne. They were looking to Belair again. This time tipped away. Only 4 left to shoot. Soroketti in the corner, out of his reach. Beach's defender snaking his way through. It's Owen Dassey. We'll flip it back to Bucknell just inside center. Back door on the run, Hamish McPherson. Beach is still completing their change. McPherson from the outside now, taking a stick check from Nicholas Belmonte. Hunter Lubinecki, late in the shot clock, just rolls it into the corner. There's 1:20 left to go now in that major penalty. Littlejohn got the assist on the opening goal, so now just 3 points away from 100 here on the season. We'll get it again, putting it up top for Byrne, who shot through the middle. Initially blocked, fell right at the feet of David Peterkin, who's off to the races. And a nice back check from Byrne, and a perfectly timed stick check. Byrne actually got back to the rebound as well. And now a hit on Byrne, who was going off for a change. There's a late hit between the benches, and the official's arm is high again. And it's Willem Firth, I believe. Well, officials are trying to point out somebody over there on that Toronto bench. So it'll already be the 3rd power play in the opening 6 minutes. Handed here to the Whitby Warriors, only able to put 1 behind Thomas Kaisick so far. From the opening game of the season way back in May, we were down in St. Catharines. They faced the Beaches. Talked about how good this Toronto defense is. And that's been their calling card all season long, as Cropman and O'Connor now have a conversation that's perhaps a little heated, and Brendan Hessen walking over to listen in case it does get there. So for the Whitby Warriors, 4 games remaining, including this one. They'll be in Peterborough on Monday night, 8 o'clock start time. Then they'll return here to host Orangeville, 7:30 on Tuesday. Season will end Friday night in Brampton against the Excelsiors at 8 o'clock. Second time in the period for the Warriors, 5-on-3. Julian Belair, no-look pass across the crease. Intended for Burton, scooted away. Soroketti with it now. His outside bouncer is wide of everything. Owen Tapper was waiting for it at center, but the bounce made him take a step backwards, and he goes over and back. Only a handful of seconds left in the major portion of the power play here. Willem Firth can likely take that all the way down. Firth, far side. On the run, he'll stop just inside the restraining line. 1:15 to go in the rest of the power play. 7 gone in the period. Spinning away from pressure, Liam Aston. Popped in and out of his stick, and now Jack Oldman in the Warriors power play. We'll get another chance to work with a minute left. Whitby leading 1-0 here in the first period. Scheduled for 3:20s. Littlejohn and Byrne playing catch up top with Belair. Still just the 3 top shooters. Belair takes quarterback spot. Now Gesso down in the corner to his captain. Littlejohn had the corner, but rings it off the crossbar. Owen Tassi coming over defensively. Fresh 30 seconds for Whitby though. Littlejohn back to Byrne. Down towards the corner, Gesso, Littlejohn against the grain to Soroketti. Back to Littlejohn with room to shoot, does. And his low shot handled by Kaisick, but tipped out of the stick of Caden Hewitt, who was headed off down floor. Shot clock resets as Littlejohn picks it up. Only 10 to go in the power play. Kaisick with another stop. Martineau Getting it across center, taking a number of hits, taking on 4 defenders. 1 point, all 5 with a pass and into the corner. Seth Martineau's going to get one of the biggest assists in the Beaches season as Josh Mills, the Poco pickup at the deadline, scores to tie this one. How about the job done by Seth Martineau, and Josh Mills rightfully acknowledges the big man. Graduating defender out of KW, the biggest trade perhaps of the deadline in terms of numbers. Noah Candy, Zach Vanderwall coming back, Cal Brennan, all joining the Toronto Beaches. Draft capital going back the other way. Beach is able to trade Peyton Booth as well to Oakville at the trade deadline. In a somewhat surprising move, but one that definitely improves the Oakville buzz for the future. This is very much an all-in club right here, pretty much right now for the Toronto Beaches, who believe they're a Minto Cup team. So are the Whitby Warriors, though. Haven't really been on many people's radar, but have been near the top of the standings most of the year. Outside Liam Aston. Going to be a fun run to the postseason here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. Be sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. This is where all the action is going to be. To the outside, Weather up. Wheels back across the restraining line. Down into the corner, big high step. Return pass, Little John. Back to the crease again. Standing tall, Kaizek. Loose ball recovered by Weatherup. He got knocked down. Soraketti recovers the possession just inside the timeline. Quick one-man change at the Whitby bench. Langio to Byrne. Came over the top, back to Little John, and a moving screen takes the ball away. 35 seconds away from the midway mark of the period. 1-1 here between the Beaches and the Warriors, the 3 and 4 seed in the Junior A standings. Tyden Redlick. Nice stop on that low bouncer. Pass headed down floor and out of the reach of Ty Jesso. Aaron Eberhardt had to wait on it to come off the end boards. All this talk of graduating rookies, season of Caleb Tatarek probably gets lost in the shuffle. Outside rip off the post from Liam Aston. Tatarek, being a lefty, you wonder how he would fit in, especially when Mills was acquired with Willem Firth, one of the top players in the country. But Tatarek in his rookie season has hung in there, as has Hamish McPherson. Just finds a hole. And the Beaches are up 2-1. McPherson's been one of those complimentary players the entire time. Looks like he's going to go all the way over the top. Puts the brakes on, and I think that's what Redlick thought as well, that he was going to keep that momentum going. And now that's to just stop up and shoot Josh Mills. And a goalie assist from Kaizek on the second Beaches goal. Belair accepting the pass there from Robertson after another Oldman face-off win. Langille comes off the bench. Back out and into the corner. Nolan Byrne drops a shoulder. Excuse me, this is Robbie Baxter, who turns and fires off of Kaizek. Back to Littlejohn. Nolan Marshall through Baxter. Into the corner, Langille turning. Another low shot that misses the mark. Kept alive by Littlejohn, but only 15 on the shot clock. Julian Belair passing through, intended for Baxter. He wasn't ready for the pass. Had Martineau on him anyways. Tyler Francis Renner took a chop as he came across. Center quick stick from Firth. Down to the crease. Redlick with the stop. Weather up back the other way. He'll drop it off to Oldman. No shot. They wait for Soroketti off the bench, who does take a hard shot into Kazik. Soroketti took a bump after that, was looking to the officials for a penalty. He'll go right back after Bucknell. Those two now head off. Wills to the outside boards. To Tarek. Far side. Caleb to Tarek. Gets it back. Fake low. Shot high through traffic. Firth waiting for a rebound that never developed. Tapper across center now. 8 to play here in the first period. 2-1 Beaches. Littlejohn to the outside boards. Burn for Langille. Gesso pops out of the pile. Going to get the pass here. Faked it initially to Littlejohn. Now goes to the captain who shoots. And there was room by the left hand of Kazik until the big glove got there. 3-on-1 the other way for the Beaches. Stopped up on the crease. The shot picked up, a spin move from Belmonte. He's going to spring him clear. Belmonte and Byrne joining this Whitby team in the offseason from Brampton. Nolan Marshall did the same at the deadline. Littlejohn across to Soroketti. Langille sets the screen, rolls to the net. Soroketti was stumbling though, couldn't pass it. Now wants that low shot. Got it through and off a defender. It goes up and into the screening. Right at the tail end of the shot clock too, so fresh 30 seconds for the Warriors. Belair. To Littlejohn, crosses the restraining line to Soroketti. Zach Vanderwall stands his ground though. Soroketti a couple head fakes before shooting past everybody. Francis Renner's going to bring it down, and Tyler Francis Renner in all alone scores. This is just a jump ball between a couple Whitby players, and Littlejohn on his horse cannot catch up to Tyler Francis Renner. I don't know if he saw that stick check coming, but pulls the stick away at the last second and then gets it back in his shooting position. There's Tyler Francis Renner. 3 straight now for the Beaches. In just over 5 minutes. 5 minutes, 12 seconds to be exact. And Toronto lead 3-1. Owen Lee back across to Oldman after winning another faceoff. He'll stay on here. Outside shot from Weatherup came firing off the end boards. Weatherup tied up Caswell Friedman. I guess they had no possession there because shot clock's only at about 20 seconds. Now it resets as it's picked up by Aaron Eberhardt. Beaches only have 8 seconds to get it across center. Weatherup will gather back possession for Whitby and make that a moot point. Ty Jetso finds Langille jogging off the bench. Oldman still out there after the draw. Littlejohn will set the screen. Oldman, sidearm shot. Trying to see if he's got the face-off twig. It doesn't look mangled enough, but must have switched at the bench somewhere in that exchange. Willem Firth now. Really only the second time we've called Firth's name as Belmonte is all over him, chasing him down to the crease. Outside shot coming from Aston. That hit the defender in front. Justin Hewitt. Mills had the rebound. Firth gets run over looking for the loose ball and then sat on in the corner. Finally possession given here to Toronto. Firth. Oh! Just postures up and turns top corner. And that is at least 3 of the 4 that have gone over the left shoulder of Tyden Redlick, here in this first period. I mean, watch this shot out of nowhere. Goal number 40 on the season for Willem Firth in his final year of Junior A lacrosse. Beach is now with 4 straight. Another face-off win, though, for Oldman and the Warriors. Belair comes off the bench to Littlejohn, far side, Soroketti. Gesso joining the right side. We've already got Byrne trying to make him one-on-one. They'll come back to Littlejohn. Up top, Soroketti intercepted the pass intended for Byrne. Quickly down to the crease. Belair's shot hit the side of the net, so the shot clock sounds. 4-1 the lead for the Peaches. Feels like Whitby controlled most of this first period. As Tatarek shoots, this time looking to the right shoulder of Redlick. Nearly intercepted by Firth. He will get it back. A Willem Firth special, but usually ends up in a breakaway. Not so much this time. Him and Wills. Working here, Wills sets the screen, gets the return pass, shoots on the run, and down was Redlick. Got up and got some, but not all of the Beaches shot. Now they're up 5-1. Willem Firth making things happen as he gets the interception and brings it back in. Quick pass down to the crease for Cal Brennan. Officials trying to figure out the goal scorer there. Definitely look from our vantage point. It was Cal Brennan. Willem Firth, Josh Mills, and a change between the pipes as Cooper Wilson, the rookie, comes in for Whitby here. Redlick still with the helmet on, although hanging his head over on the Whitby bench. We'll see if this is just a short reprieve, maybe one of 3 minutes 41 seconds perhaps. Littlejohn, cross floor. Langiel to the corner for Byrne. Just away from a poke check. Down to the crease. Littlejohn shot towards the feet of Kaisik. Kicked all the way back to center. Byrne. To Langiel. One-man change at the bench. It's going to bring former Northman Belair onto the floor. Langiel across to Marshall. Ducked his head, wanted to go to the net. Will pass to Belair instead. Found Littlejohn on the crease, but in and out of his stick. Jack Winarski there to upset the play. Zach Vanderwall for Toronto across center. Willem Firth with it again. Firth backs away to give himself space. Now around a couple screens. Ball to the far side. Liam Aston's low shot, welcoming Wilson into the game. Oldman stays up with Littlejohn here. Ty Gesso screening through the middle. Byrne to the outside. Soroketti back to Ty Gesso. Off-season trade with KW. Not as big as the one they made at the deadline, and now a moving screen called for the second time against Byrne, who has a word with the official on his way by. Transition again for Caden Hewitt and the Beaches. And Wilson's going to stop that. Rebound will roll right back out to Eddie Farid. Graduating defender from the Oakville Buzz. Easton McCafferty going back the other way. McCafferty, Peyton Booth joining Charlie Boone. That's a dangerous right side for the Buzz. Langiel, a couple fakes before releasing. Ball stayed in the crease of Kaisik, meaning no one from Whitby could touch up. Covered it with the glove just in case. Inside the 2-minute warning here in the first period. 5-1 Beaches. McPherson to the trailing Firth. Hamish McPherson is going to roll over the top, takes the shot off the left arm of Wilson. Firth follows his man into the end boards and takes a shove from Max Weatherup. On the run, Lee, another well-timed stick check. And that time by Warnarski. Just going to get a return pass just inside center as we near the final minute to Tarek. Through Lubinecki down towards the corner. Big jab step before the pass. It's to Tarek now. Out of the corner, looked off Wills, who was cutting through. Aston from the outside shoots off the end boards. And this will bounce right back to Whitby. Robinson looking to hurry things along. His shot wide. Warriors definitely trying to go 2 for 1 there on that play. Warnarski still has a chance to do so for the Beaches. Covered up and whistled back in with 29 seconds. And that'll be timeout called over on the Whitby bench. Gave you Whitby's upcoming schedule to close out their regular season. Only 1 game remaining for the Beaches, and it will be against St. Catharines. One of those 11-win teams. That coming up on Monday night at Ted Reeve, an 8 o'clock start time. Busy night on Monday as we get into the final week of regulation play. Also, Mimico facing the Burlington Blaze, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Be sure to download the official Ontario Junior Lacrosse League app for all your scores, schedules, standings, and stats from around the league as we come into the final week of regular season play and then on into the playoffs. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Turn your notifications on. You'll get an alert every time we go live here down the stretch. And if you're interested in supporting some or one of these broadcasts, please reach out to the league, and hopefully we can get as many as we can down the stretch. Nolan Byrne will jog it in. Cooper Wilson on the bench. Riley O'Connor not happy with the way this play is starting. Although time now down to 7 seconds. Something should happen right about now. A lot of movement. Burns still with it though. Back here to Belair, who shoots. And a last second save from Kaisik. Soroketti dropped right as that was happening. Marshall jumps in for a word. I was about to say a few minutes ago, kind of settled into a rhythm which sort of favored the Beaches after a lot of penalties to start, but would have spoke too soon had I done that. Keep your eye on the far side, and Soroketti did get a slash, but didn't think it was that much to knock him over. There's a lot of jawing between the benches and the officials here. Coaches with the officials, coaches with each other, players with each other. I think everyone needs to take a rest. We'll do that for about 10 minutes. Beaches lead 5-1 after 1. Second period comes your way in about 10 minutes time. From here in Whitby, you're watching the feature game in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League.
electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
Let's go, raise up one time, go get it, it's yours, let's shine, come on.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
You can catch the fun with lacrosse, Canada's national summer sport. Everyone can experience the excitement of lacrosse, where fun meets fitness and friends are made. Lacrosse is one of the youngest organized sports children can play. And with 66 clubs throughout Ontario, everyone can get in on the fun. Visit playlacrosse.com. Our interactive map will help you find a lacrosse club in your area. Join the Ontario lacrosse community today. Ask a parent before going online.
Back live in Whitby, where we were here last week for a doubleheader of Senior B, Senior A lacrosse, and Ontario Festival advertisements were not up. The entire building now getting ready for the August 1st to the 10th Ontario Lacrosse Festival here at Iroquois Park. In about 3 or 4 weeks away from that, but explanation ongoing over at the Toronto bench again with Riley O'Connor. Coming out of the period, they're showing a 2-minute penalty for Caden Hewitt and a 2-minute penalty for Ryan Langille. Now this has been ruled differently about every game it's happened in. Today we're going to remain 5-on-5 with those two penalties offsetting as we start second period. Some miscommunication about who's going to get this face-off, and it will be the Beaches who will go right to left, and it is Ty Redlick back in net after that slight 3-minute reprieve from Cooper Wilson. 5 straight goals by the Beaches to lead 5-1. 5 goals off 17 shots for the Beaches in that first period. 1 for Whitby off 10, scored on their first power play opportunity. They were 5-on-3 twice. A 5-minute power play gifted to the Warriors also in that period. Beaches have yet to go on the man advantage. Out to the outside. Ty Jesso sending it here to Byrne. He'll step into an outside shot. Kaizak looking for the rebound. It was off on his right leg. Run up the near side. Bucknell looks for Tatarek off the bench. Now to Lubinecki. Hunter Lubinecki is going to get around a screen. Back down to Firth on the crease. Steps out and a sidearm shot. Redlick with the stop. Over top of everybody to Fareed. Now Oldman jogging it through. He'll flip it back to Nolan Byrne. Byrne out towards the corner. Back to his former Brampton teammate Marshall. And then trailing on the near side, Littlejohn. Unable to poke it in after the previous two couldn't as well. We'll keep our eyes peeled on any score updates from Oakville. Burlington Blaze, Oakville Buzz about to get underway in about 10-15 minutes or so from the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. Robbie Baxter backpedaling his way into the offensive end. He'll give to Soroketti. Gabriel Soroketti through Belair. Out to the far side, Littlejohn. Baxter to Littlejohn again. Baxter cutting through backdoor, and Littlejohn was looking to go to the crease for Jesso and had it intercepted. Owen Tassie to the trailing Cal Brennan. He'll stop up in the corner. Now comes back the way of the restraining line. Puts it in the stick of Willem Firth. On the run, Wills shoots. Redlick the save. Tatarek the first one back to the rebound, although his pass then skips away, and Oldman will bring it down. Oldman has Hewitt in front of him. Hewitt will peel off, and Oldman will give here to Nolan Byrne. Won himself a Gatorade Player of the Week award after an 8-goal performance against his former club. Littlejohn to Ty Jesso. Back to Byrne. Lowers his shoulder, crashes in. Still kind of tangled up there. Got the pass to Littlejohn, but Martineau having a fantastic game here for the Beaches. Stuffed a chance from the Whitby captain. Now Tyler Francis Renner already with a goal. Passing back to McPherson. He's got one as well. Francis Renner dropped, and from his stomach going to roll it all the way back up top to Warnarski. Shot from Firth, looking to the feet there of Redlick. 5 goals from the Beaches in that first period from 5 different players. Ben Cromer stood up at the line. Liam McLeod able to get the takeaway. And Aaron Eberhardt will get it. 4 minutes gone here in this second period. Liam Aston all the way across it to Tarek. Had him in shooting motion, and he did fire it off the end boards. Playing it back, room to work for Cal Brennan. Shot stumbles Redlick, but then goes up out of play as Firth takes an extra shot while they try and get things restarted. Cal Brennan. Again, part of that big haul from KW at the deadline. Down to Willem Firth. He'll spin away. Check there, popped it out of his stick, and as they returned it back to the near side, intercepted. Robinson. Luke Robinson from the outside shoots in on Kaisick. Robinson first one to the corner. Overran the ball with Willem Firth harassing him, and now Soroketti will find Little John out the front door and will pull the shoots one more time. Byrne to Soroketti. Cross to Little John. Soroketti's low shot hits off a foot, and now it's picked up. Bucknell off the block, stumbling to the bench. Mills trailing through, couldn't chase the rebound as he went through the crease. Now Marshall gets in after the Beaches player, got there first, taking on 3 Whitby defenders. Lubinecki all alone, finally taken down and rolls out of his stick and into the Warriors' crease. Sticks out on the Whitby bench, appreciating the effort. Fans in attendance applauding as well. Little John to Baxter. He's going to turn the corner. Twist shot. Kaisick made the save, but then Baxter ran through the crease as the ball was still there, so possession headed to the Beaches. Langeal and Hewitt, who took those penalties at the start of the period, still waiting for the first dead ball of the frame. 6 minutes in. Oldman out of the corner. Byrne from Little John back down towards the corner. Baxter up top. Little John again, the return pass. Scoots down towards the corner. Byrne finds Baxter in front. Rebound for Oldman, shoots. And Kaisick, where is it? Rolling around in the crease. It's by his glove, but the important part, out before crossing the line. Caswell Friedman. Pass into the offensive zone, knocked down. Running past everybody, Luke Robinson in towards the net, and Kaisick sends it out to the boards. Big collision there. Owen Tapper going for that loose ball. Now Weatherup will stand up Vanderwall. This is late in the 8 count, and one final shot from Tapper kept Vanderwall from getting across the center line in the allotted 8 seconds. Soroketti up to Marshall. Passes to Little John. Little John across to Soroketti, one-on-one. Tried to tuck it short side and does. And that will finally release the penalties from last period. 7 minutes and 15 seconds in. Little John should pick up an assist here. Kaisick thought that was on the glove as it just rolls through. And if he does, Lucas Littlejohn 2 points away from 100 on the season, with Whitby scoring the first goal since the 16:33 mark of the first period. Little John and Nolan Marshall on the assists. That's 2 points now for Little John. Came in at 96 on the season. Justin Tavares 5 goals behind Little John's, or ahead of, Little John's 41. Part of that Mimico resurgence that's got them up and above the playoff cut line. Nolan Byrne. Back across. Shot from Little John bounces out. Back to Oldman, and playoffs ended today. The Six Nations Mimico in the first round of the playoffs, a rematch of the 2017 Ontario Lacrosse Finals. Aston sending it across to Willem Firth. Found his shooting lane, but puts it right off the shoulder of Red Lake. Soroketti to Byrne. Passes to the far side. Little John back to Byrne, straight down the pipe off the logo. On the chest of Kazik. He'll come out of his crease again, only 8 seconds to get across half. May have rushed it a little bit, but it does make it safely to Lee McLeod. McLeod to Mills. Pick coming from Aston. Nolan Byrne will make his way off the floor as Willem Firth drops his shoulder into Tapper. All the way outside. Aston from distance scores. It's maybe a quick stick pass to Willem Firth. He's getting a lot of the congratulations. And that's indeed the case as it works down to the crease. Beautiful pass from Aston. For first second of the game. That gives him 41, tied with Little John for second in the league. Belair down the board, Soroketti through to the outside. This is Lucas Littlejohn with it now. Less than a minute away from the halfway mark of the period. Soroketti, screen in front of him. Ton of screaming and yelling down there on the floor. They want Robbie Baxter off the floor to Whitby. Collision coming here as Littlejohn goes after the loose ball. Count is on the Beach's clock, and it'll be a fresh 30 here for Whitby. Soroketti, something to say to the defender in front of him. Byrne back out there. He'll pass it to Soroketti. Back to Little John up top. His shot off the dasher. And out of play is Soroketti. Gets into Caden Hewitt, knocked him down, and this will be the first power play of the game coming up to the Beaches. Everything behind the play has been called here today. All the extra stuff and retaliatory penalties, I mean, those are the ones that are going the way of the second offender. And such is the case again with Soroketti heading off. Another shot and a goal. It's Mills, 11 seconds into the power play. Josh Mills with his second. And it's 7-2 Beaches. Little flip pass from Firth behind his back, and you can give Willem Firth a 4-point afternoon. Liam Aston, his second assist as he helped out on Willem Firth's goal. A minute and 3 seconds ago. Ball down here, big argument over who's going to pick up the face-off. Owen Lee thought he had it. Gave off to Tapper, who got upended. Past the halfway mark of the period, 7-2 Beaches. Byrne to Littlejohn. Behind the net, up to Nolan Byrne. Marshall setting the screen in front. Byrne got dumped after the wide shot. Littlejohn sends one on target. Rebound right back to Byrne, trying to lift it over top. Looked like he may have had Belair open on the crease as Byrne involved on the crease, and some late action again. It's going to end with a Beaches slash. And an extra. Cal Brennan in disbelief as he comes to sit for what is now going to be 4 minutes. Penalty filled first period. It's actually gone in the system as David Peterkin. Slashing and unsportsmanlike, the latest penalty. Despite this being the fourth power play opportunity. Whitby only with 2 goals here. On the day, 1 on the power play. It was on the first 5-on-3 of that first period. Littlejohn. Working it down into the corner, Belair. Byrne and Littlejohn now keeping the ball high. Here comes the screen onto the crease, Belair. Byrne working around it, shoots. And another one where they may have had Gesso open on the crease with Byrne electing to shoot. Owen Tassi was in transition mode, now pulls it back, Wojnarski. He'll start his way over the restraining line. Jack Wojnarski has Martineau in front of him. Lets the pass to Aston, who's now headed off. Outside shot, only a couple ticks left on the shot clock from way downtown. Jack Wojnarski just trying to beat the shot clock. Does that and Redlick. Wow. And Cooper Wilson returns to the game with the Beaches up 8-2, second shorthanded goal. And the Warriors not only going to pull the goaltender, make that change, but are calling timeout as well, and you can see this is an animated conversation here. To recap for you, Whitby Warriors coming in at 11-5 record. They're tied with 2 teams, Peterborough and St. Catharines. Although with 2 games in hand, thank you, Chris, our director. That puts them 2 games behind the Beaches, but I mean, this is a difference between home floor and perhaps playing one of those top teams without home floor advantage. Right now, Beaches tied with the Arrows and have the tiebreaker. But you can see all those teams with 11 wins. Whitby want to get out of that logjam. Have a feeling home floor advantage is going to become very important in this playoffs as you look at those teams there. There's, for my money, 5 for sure, if not 6, that have legit shot at taking the Ontario Championship. And remember, there's only 1 Ontario spot in the Minto up for grabs, with St. Catharines already clinched as the host team. Byrne working it through Soroketti. Last few times in Ontario, it's been the top 2 that have got there, but not this year. Littlejohn to Byrne. As we've seen over the last 12 hours, it's going to be a battle. Byrne down towards the corner, Soroketti up top. High shot from Belair, went over top of everything. 2.5 minutes remaining in this 4-minute double minor. Warnarski just scored from Nepean. Not going to shoot this time as he passes off. Back to Liam Aston. Stops up, turns back, twist shot, just wide of the mark, and climbs up the glass and up out of play. 7.5 to go in the period. Liam McLeod. Over center, now in the stick of Byrne. Goes over top of Soroketti, the return pass. Soroketti and Byrne. Now to Little John, who's got the quarterback spot. Little John, Byrne through the middle. Belair shot. Good play to open the look for Belair, but Kazik standing tall on the back end. Ball down, Robinson wins it. Played up through Max Taylor. Soroketti and Byrne playing catch. Penalty time down to 1:15. Little John to Byrne. Big chop in the middle. Martineau's going to head off here after his slash. Knocked Gesso down to his knees. Byrne from the outside scores. So that'll release David Peterkin's penalty. But Whitby remains on the power play due to that shot right there. And then this outside look on his own rebound. Byrne going to bring it from the restraining line. Fifth power play upcoming for Whitby. Second power play goal of the game of the 3 that have been scored, and Beach has put everybody back on defense against Oldman for the face-off, and he's going to win it clean here against Hewitt, who did try, not a clean muck, but still Whitby ball. Byrne, Little John to Belair. 6 minutes to go in the period. Nolan Byrne back across to Little John, straight through the middle, and Kazik makes the stop. Wojnarski again towards the restraining line. Pair of 10s doing battle here with him and Weatherup. Eventually getting rid of it to Peterkin. Little stutter step move and a moving screen in front of the ball. Wilson pointing that there should be a delay, a game penalty on the late shot there from the Beaches, but not going to get his wish with 5.5 to go here in the period. 8-2 lead for the Beaches. Fifth power play of the game for Whitby to just 1 of Toronto. Byrne across to Little John. Shot off Kazik. Belair picks it up. Byrne from the outside again. 5-hole may have been open, but that hit Kazik in the chest. 40 seconds to go, man advantage. Played up to Caden Hewitt. Peterkin will help with the rest of the way over center line. Down the boards now for Liam Aston. Big step to get past Fareed. He was being picked out of the way. McPherson down the boards. Aston with it. Reaching out an empty hand for Oldman. Nearly caught that after dropping his stick, but the shot clock sounds. 4.5 to go now in the period. Final seconds of what is the fifth power play of the game for Whitby. 2 for 5 with the man advantage. There's a double minor in there. There's a major in there. Byrne with another shot. Kicked out wide by Kazik into the corner. Recovered by Whitby. Byrne was cutting to the net though. Pass was behind him. And it drops down for Toronto. 3 goals off 27 shots showing here in-house for the Warriors. 8 off 26 for the Beaches. Hunter Lubinecki Elects not to shoot this time. Gives off to Mills, working through the middle, over top of the net, and touchdown in the crease, and then got run over. And we'll get at least one penalty. And it will just be one. Coming up here to Whitby, Max Weatherup. Keep your eye on number 10 in the red shoes. Yeah, cross check. Knocks his man down, and both officials have the same call. All the penalties going the way of the Warriors. Kind of knew any little thing was going to go back the way of the Beaches to give them a power play. So it'd be just their second of the game. Josh Mills scoring on the first one. Took all of 11 seconds. He'll get the ball back into the yellow-headed stick. Firth taking the quarterback spot. Plays it back to Aston, opening the shot from Mills. That just missed. Drops down into the stick of Tapper, initially double teamed. Now he's off to the races. Has help coming off the bench, and Littlejohn shoots himself. And the rebound over the stick of Littlejohn. Tassi will take it out of harm's way. Owen Tassi to Willem Firth. He'll wait for the rest of the top power play line to get out on the floor, including Mills and Cal Brennan. Firth wants to shoot, does, scores. Hat trick for Willem Firth. And the Beaches power play remains perfect on the day. Brennan from the corner, right back up to his captain. And how about a 3-assist afternoon for Liam Aston? Firth working on 5 points now off the 9 goals. Shots even 25-25. Ben Cromer. Lead pass for Oldman, who got knocked down while shooting. Skimmed off Kazik, and Littlejohn will bring it back down. Nolan Byrne. Through to Littlejohn. Down to the crease, behind the back. Looking for Oldman, who was cutting through the crease, and Langell just couldn't find him. Friedman. Cross center, being called to the bench. He'll go now as Wynarski cuts through the middle. Firth all the way back across to Lubinecki. Hunter Lubinecki to Firth, who comes outside the restraining line. Back to the outside, McPherson's shot. Bounced off a leg, perhaps of Tapper, and up out of play. Tyler Francis Renner has a goal in transition in the game already. Works around a screen from Lubinecki. The cut to the net, and Cooper Wilson going to stand his ground. Could be wrong, but I don't believe Wilson has allowed a goal. All 8, allowed that last power play marker, but the first one allowed. First 8 credited to Tyden Redlick. Whitby took a timeout in the first period, so they have 1 remaining. Beaches with 2 with 1:20 left to go here in the second. Soroketti outside to Littlejohn, drops the shoulder. Bouncer off the glass. Too far for Soroketti, and it'll be a shot clock violation. Back up the boards, Liam McLeod. Hidden ball play. Everyone aware that Brennan's got it. And I don't think the clock started. Shot clock down to 16 seconds, so they're asking for 14 to come off clock here, which would put us into the final minute. Someone asking about the turf here, the New York Riptide logo. laid down by the Brooklyn Merchants, who will host the President's Cup here at Iroquois Park Sports Center. Coming up at the end of August, 24th to the 31st. Top senior B teams in the country will be here. And because it's laid down by the Merchants who play here, that means Brooklyn Lacrosse Club have been using it, as well as the Whitby Warriors. They'll go down to an even minute left in the period. Firth back to Aston, shoots and scores. So the delay gives the Beaches offense a chance to talk about it, and they'll put one in the back of the net. 10 spot here for the Beaches. With 50 seconds left to go in the period. Face-off rolls away from Nicholas Belmonte, still recovered by Whitby, electing not to take timeout just yet. Here's Byrne. In the corner, quick stick Soroketti. Through the crease, Martino picks it up. And timeout Beaches, their first of the game. So timeout here for Riley O'Connor, who took part in the opening face-off honoring the 2013 Minto Cup team. Both of these two teams participating in the 2022 Minto Cup, won by the Warriors. Trying to get back there. 16th to the 23rd down in St. Catharines at the Meridian Center. See if Wilson will stay in. This was Beach's timeout. Kazik looks like he's going to be on the bench for a 6-attacker set. I think we just heard Riley O'Connor say 7 seconds, which would mean 22. Or so, getting up and into the zone. Firth credited with those duties. First job getting across the timeline. Now here for Lubinecki. Shot clock operator nicely matching the shot clock with the game clock so the Beaches can see that. Game board in behind them. Here's Aston. Down to the doorstep. Lubinecki diving through, picked up. And time will expire before the Warriors can launch it down floor. But another big period here for the Beaches, who are up 10-3 in this battle of teams. Ranked 3rd and 4th in the province. Home floor and seeding up for grabs as we come down the stretch to the playoffs. Can the Warriors respond in the third? We'll find out in about 10 minutes' time. You're watching the feature game of the week here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League.
electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
Yeah, let's go. Raise up one time. Go get it. It's yours. Let's shine. Come on.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
You can catch the fun with lacrosse, Canada's national summer sport. Everyone can experience the excitement of lacrosse, where fun meets fitness and friends are made. Lacrosse is one of the youngest organized sports children can play. And with 66 clubs throughout Ontario, everyone can get in on the fun. Visit playlacrosse.com. Our interactive map will help you find a lacrosse club in your area. Join the Ontario lacrosse community today. Ask a parent before going online.
Play back on here in the third period. It is Whitby controlling the face-off with work to do here in the third, trailing 10-3. In that second period, 5 goals for the Beaches off just 12 shots. 2 off 19 for Whitby, so 10 off 29 and 3 off 29, respectively. As they check on Kazik after that shot. Weather up. From inside the restraining line, that looked like it got behind Kazik, rolls down the back of the net. Starting this period, 5-on-5 with the penalty box is empty. Owen Byrne from the outside, flips into a shot, that one deflected. Here's Little John trying to finesse it short side, and that one also goes wide. Around the back of Langille. Back to Little John circling the net. Gets enough of Kazik to reset the shot clock, but no one around to pick up the rebound. Willem Firth had Baxter trailing from behind. Turned and looked at the official after the hit into the numbers. Riley O'Connor wanted one as well. Baxter getting a lot of attention here. And a couple whacks from Caden Hewitt, who didn't like the hit on Firth. And Hewitt's going to get the, I was going to say only penalty, but no, both of them are going, and I think that might be the right call. Hewitt went right at Baxter, who got into the back of Willem Firth, and anytime you touch Willem Firth, I'm surprised you don't have most of the 416 coming after you. The way he's played for the Beaches over the last 4 or 5 years, going back to his debut in the bubble. May have parts of Nepean coming for you as well. Over the shoulder, Soroketti being stood over top after that. Behind the back shot, Francis Renner in transition again. Skipper that goes off Cooper Wilson and up out of play. Wilson will start the period after Redlick started the last 2. Hamish McPherson up over the top. Works it to the corner. Hunter Lubinecki swarmed by a double team. Works back in the direction of Cal Brennan. Oldman in transition all by himself for now. Gonna drag it back to the net. Eludes one defender. Got drilled by another after the shot that Kazik fell on top of and keeps out from the line. Seth Martineau working it back quickly to Mills. Nice little fake shot that allowed him to work to the crease. Although Cooper Wilson standing upright, taking it off the shoulder. One of Wilson's best games in Junior A came in this building against St. Catharines against his brother Ty Wilson, as the two of them went head to head. Little John from the corner, less than 10 to play. As he works back to Max Taylor. Hard hit there on the boards. They look for the loose ball, eventually pulled out here by Whitby. Little John calling for it. Took a little bit off the shot. Left wing pops out for Kazik. Forcing the ball to the outside. Zach Vanderwall there. Working it out in front, and that one wide of the mark as well. 5 straight wins for Wilson. His only loss in a start came from the Beaches back in the 19th of June, a 12-10 Whitby loss. Outside shot, and they'll score again. So 10-4, not quite over and out, but Whitby showing signs of life with Oldman cutting through the middle. And Jack Oldman switches the black-headed shooting stick for the white head of the face-off twig. Good defender, he can do it offensively, transition. And he's a face-off specialist as well. And one of the hangers-on from the 2022 Minto Cup team. Byrne around Soroketti. Byrne pulls it down, shoots low through the legs. Got the reset. And then a little bit extra in behind the Toronto bench. Behind their net, rather. And Byrne has something to say to the official while he walks by. This will be the the third Beaches power play. They are perfect 2 for 2 coming in. Outside shot gets through Wilson. And this power play lasts 16 seconds. Beaches remain perfect on the day. Now to put it up to 11-4, the shot from Aston. And Firth, 6th. Five-point afternoon for Josh Mills as well. Liam Bucknell controlling the faceoff. Gets it up here to Hunter Lubinecki. Out to the outside boards now. Through Firth to Tatarek. Beaches starting to stretch the floor out. McPherson through the middle. Lubinecki bouncer. Caught by Wilson, who was already down to his knees expecting that shot. Heads up in the penalty box, hits off the dasher. Too far for Weatherup. Tatarek to the outside. Wheel there between Aston and cutback move. Cal Brennan's got his second. And all Beaches now at this point up by 8. Just a beautiful two-man game worked with the right side. Ends up with Cal Brennan's second of the game. 13:45 left to go. And an 8-goal deficit. Double team coming here for Liam McLeod after he passed the ball. He goes down. Looked like he was gonna grab at his left leg, but now heads off the floor. Looks to be okay, actually. Hamish McPherson to Mills. Snaking his way through the set. Martineau out there on offense. Keep your eye on the big man. He'll make a change here, though, as Lubinecki taken down due to interference. McPherson Straight into the middle of the pile, outside for Mills. Lubinecki in front of Francis Renner. Shot now from McPherson, hit off a body. Lubinecki couldn't bring it down cleanly, and Luke Robinson's in there looking for the ball. Big hit from Robinson. Surprised that may not have been called interference. Meanwhile, Mills was mixing it up with Ben Cromer, who has dropped the gloves in the past if you're worried about anything like that starting. Have been some tense moments in this game. Far side Nolan Burns shot into the feet of Kaisick. He'll kick it right back to the restraining line. Lucas Littlejohn up top. Langiel doesn't shoot. Byrne has it. Back to Littlejohn. And Byrne again. Drags it down to the crease. And off of Kaisick. He'll kick it right back to his defense. And they're off in transition. Collision behind the play has both benches up in arms. They haven't been happy with much here in this game, except for maybe the Toronto bench and the way the scoring's gone. 12-4 here with 8-minute deficit, 8-goal deficit, 8 minutes gone in the period, excuse me. Wide shot, nearly brought down by Firth. He'll continue after it and steal the possession back. Takes a couple of hacks from Eddie Farid. Firth in towards the corner. McPherson comes over the top, back to the outside. This is Cal Brennan. Low shot from Firth. That hit the foot of the defender and rolls out to the corner. And of course, it's Oldman that blocks it. He'll go back and chase his own rebound. Littlejohn quickly out for the Warriors. Oldman going to stay on here. Langiel to the outside. Soroketti back to Littlejohn. Pick coming in front of him. It's Oldman. Skip shot. In on Kaisick, who will cover up. Littlejohn 2 points away from 100 on the season. Came in 4 shy of the mark. Assisted on the first 2 goals by the Warriors. Looked like it was almost a done deal. It was going to happen today. Shot here from Mills, bounces wide. Delayed penalty coming up here to Whitby as it bounces back. Quick stick to Mills, couldn't handle the pass. And Lubinecki, no time for a shot. Although him and Belmonte will go chest to chest. Cal Brennan coming in as well. And I believe it's going to be Nicholas Belmonte for holding the stick. Something of that nature. Was tied up with his man and then ended up just grabbing the stick out of his hands as he fell. Keep your eye on number 33 in white. Over on the left side of your screen, there it is. As Belmonte was going down, just grabbed the stick of Hunter Lubinecki and took it to the turf with him. So Whitby back to the box, 4th time today. The Beach is on the power play. They're 3 for 4. And really have only had about 45 seconds of power play time. They've been over early. And this one will be over early too, but only because the Beaches are going to take one. A holding the stick call coming against the Beaches. 4 seconds away from the halfway mark of the period here. I said before all Beaches, but I mean, shots are actually favoring Whitby 36-33 at the moment. Pass across to Belair. Skips wide into the corner. Not the greatest of days for Whitby starter tied in Redlick. I think must be said, allowed 8 goals. Firth to McPherson. Back to the far side. Bounces away from Firth, where it's picked up here. Baxter. Cross center, him and Oldman get on their correct sides. Oldman stops up, turns and fires. Another one that's looking low on Kazik that he saves with the big summer stick. Again, coming off his first season of NLL experience. Backup goaltender, the Saskatchewan Rush. To Mills, off the post. Ran through the crease, so he can't play on the rebound. Got knocked down anyways. Robinson having words, not sure if that was with the official or Mills himself. Littlejohn. Pass from Taylor as he heads off the floor. Far side, Soroketti finds Belair joining the fray. Only 10 to shoot. Soroketti outside. Got picked out of the way by Byrne, who's now open for a shot. Tries the between the legs bouncer again. And that one hit a defender. Right into Caswell Friedman, who leads transition back the other way. Loose ball down in the corner. Friedman there to get it, but it's lifted back in the direction of Littlejohn. 8 minutes left to go. Penalty has expired. We're back 5-on-5. Shortest one of the day for Whitby. Would have been their 6th. Little bit of room past the left glove there of Kazik. Littlejohn looking for it. It's over and back away from Soroketti. Picked up off the line. Francis Renner. Heard defensive footsteps and elected to turn it back towards center. Here's Willem Firth. Through Liam Aston. Tarek coming to throw a screen. Firth elects not to use it. Going back down into the corner. Couple high steps there from Aston. Firth from distance. Initial shot stuffed, and the shot clock sounds before anybody else could pick up. Weatherup at the line to Langiel. Down the boards, Nolan Byrne. Soroketti and Langiel both making space in front. Ball hit a defender. Soroketti back to get it. Weatherup had to hold up on the outside shot. Now Soroketti does let it fly. Didn't get Kazik. Littlejohn through, and that one had eyes, doesn't hit off the goaltender enough to reset the shot clock, but everybody else had already headed for the bench. Friedman clearing center with 6.5 left to go. 8-goal lead. Toronto Beaches, who look like they're going to improve to 14-5 heading into their final game. McPherson, long rip from the outside. Again, 3 more for Whitby after today. Belair to Gesso. Playing it back to Littlejohn. Soroketti and Oldman. Soroketti by himself. Little tuck headed to the net, turned back around. Soroketti brings it back all the way near side for Littlejohn, reaching behind him. Kazik had it stopped between his legs though. You can see the entire schedule for these two teams remaining, as well as when the playoff matchups and schedule becomes announced by downloading the official Ontario Junior Lacrosse League app from your favorite app store. Littlejohn into the corner, and be sure you're following at the OJLL on all your favorite social media channels. Rebound controlled here over center. Looks like Hewitt had a few words for Littlejohn there. Down to the crease quickly, a few shots there. Brennan eventually getting to Lubanecki, who had a good chance. Down the boards to Weatherup. Lucas Littlejohn. Around the screen from Gesso, who shoots over a big collision. That off Kazik. He comes back out of his crease. Jack Wojnarski scored from center floor. earlier on in this game. To give you a hint of how well things were falling for the Beaches early on. Another chance, this one from McPherson. Did hit off Cooper Wilson and will go back into Toronto territory. We'll reset the shot clock as it's picked up. Well, not yet picked up, now it is. Beaches have 8 to get back across center. Taylor chasing Aston. 4 minutes left to go, McPherson. Broken stick down there on the floor as Wilson comes out to try and help with the loose ball. It's Luke Robinson. Now to Little John with under 4 minutes left to go in regulation time. Cross to Langiel. Little John swim move. Shot. Rebound came right back to Soroketti. Had an open net but just couldn't bring it down in time. Langiel outside to Byrne. Nolan Byrne passes back here to Soroketti. Stops up before shooting. That one straight into the turf before going up and out of play. Mills off the bench. Gonna slow things down. Look back at the official after Lee gave him what he thought was a high hit. Lee back to work on Wills, who turns and got past him into Wilson and into the back of the net. Josh Mills hat trick. And a 6-point afternoon, and now words. In front of the benches, and more penalties coming up here. Looks like just one Beaches player coming across, and just a 10-minute misconduct against Cal Brennan, his second trip to the box. Look at your out-of-town scores, my oh my. Oakville buzz. Told you they were starting to build a pretty good offense down there in Oakville with Peyton Booth from the Beaches, Easton McCafferty from Whitby. They've jumped out to a 7-1 lead on Burlington at the track. Blaze went into full sail mode. Chuck Ross and Cody Innes. Kyle McMillan down to St. Catharines. Sam Forbes being traded out west. Justin Hill, graduating defender, going to Six Nations. Saw him last night after a Minto Cup win just a few years ago. Such is the life cycle of a Junior A lacrosse team. Start to get hints of something good load up for that one run, and then what for the next few years? Feel like we may be in that category, unfortunately, for the Burlington Blaze right now, but last few trade deadlines have restocked the draft board. And if you look at the registration numbers throughout Ontario, Burlington are up there in the minor category, so who knows what some of those youngsters might become. To Tarek. Long backhand while he was being pressured. Josh Mills points in every game since the trade deadline, coming over from Port Coquitlam. 6-point effort that he's got today is his highest here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. Previous best was 5 against Burlington, a 13-8 win for the Beaches that day, where he scored 4 goals. Also his highest in Junior A. (13-4) here into the last minute and a half. Build this as two teams that were going to be pretty close to each other, given their spots in the standings, fighting for home floor in the playoffs. And I mean, Beaches just came in here and laid it down. That ball never left the crease before Byrne touched it, so possession change for the Beaches, who will pick up win number 14 on the season. Gives them a little bit of breathing room. Up in the standings as they'll have a game up on the Six Nations Arrows, who will have a game in hand. Both of them 3 games back coming into the day of the Orangeville Northmen. Sticks are out on the Beaches bench. Jack Oldman still looking for perhaps one more. Lost the ball as it rolls out to the boards. Caden Hewitt in there. Oldman did recover though. Outside to Belair. Shot hit off the defender, and it will be a shot clock violation with only 1 more second left to go, and it'll remain in the crease of the Toronto Beaches, who come into Whitby and make a statement with a 13-4 victory here over one of their closest rivals in the standings, the Whitby Warriors, who don't lose in this building all that often, but do here today by 9 goals. As it stands right now, Whitby dropping to 11-6, and again a 3-way tie for that 4, 5, 6 spot. Whitby, Peterborough, and St. Catharines. Peterborough and St. Catharines with 2 left to play. Whitby with 3 games remaining. Reminder to subscribe to the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League's YouTube channel. If you like this video, leave a comment, share it around. The algorithm will be more apt to recommend videos like this. And of course, if you turn your notifications on, you'll get an alert every time we go live around the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. On behalf of our producer today, Gary Morrison, and our director, Chris Main, the rest of the JVI Sports Network and the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, my name is Matthew Carrick. Enjoy the last week of the regular season, folks. We'll talk to you in the playoffs. Good night from Whitby.